What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. You already know it's your girl Patra Kiera, and in today's video I really want to discuss things that are going on in the fashion industry right now and the world at large. So before we get into today's video, I want to let you guys know that I have links down below so that you can sign some petitions and donate to some funds for the Black Lives Matters movement and also other social injustices that we are currently facing right now. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about performative activism that we are witnessing in the fashion industry. I use my channel to educate you guys on brands and just bring more awareness for things that are happening in the fashion industry. I think that it's super important that I discuss with you guys what performative activism is and why it's such a big deal within the fashion industry and within the world. I just want to let you guys know that this video is not created in any way to bash any brands, but it is created to bring awareness so that you guys will know which brands support you and which brands that you should be supporting yourself. So I want to start out the video by discussing exactly what performative activism is, and I just kind of googled it to get like the right definition because sometimes I can't really put things into words in my own way. So the definition that I found that I thought was the most fitting is performative activism is activism done to increase one's social capital rather than because of one's devotion to the cause. It is often associated with surface level activism referred to as slacktivism. So from that definition, I'm sure that you guys have already witnessed a lot of brands that have been called out within the past week or so for performative activism. A lot of brands have been posting these black squares in response to Black Lives Matter movement to show their solidarity, but a lot of people are questioning what actions are they actually taking to back up exactly what they're saying on their Instagram, because what more can a black square do other than just be on your page? So in the past week, we've seen brands like Celine, Reformation, and Doll Scale all called out in their comment section because of the fact that they posted this black square saying that they stand in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, but a lot of opposing comments in their comment section show that is not the truth and it's not really aligning with what people have experienced with these brands. If you guys don't understand why the black square post and the silence from a lot of fashion conglomerates and also designers is seen as problematic, is because if we go back in time to the Notre Dame fire, which occurred last April, we saw that LVMH and also Kering Group donated, I think, a total of $300 million within a day of news surfacing about the cathedral being on fire. And we also saw that the Kering Group conglomerate donated 1 million Australian dollars for the Australian bushfires, along with Balenciaga releasing a koala shirt that raised funds as well. And it's so funny because after reading through some articles, I found that BBC had actually asked last year, has too much money been given to rebuild? Since the murder of George Floyd, LVMH has actually remained completely silent. They have not released any statements for solidarity or anything in particular. And after a few days of silence, Kering Group finally spoke up and they said that they would donate to the NAACP, but it was super vague in comparison to them proudly announcing their donation for the Notre Dame fire. Antoine Gregory, who is a fashion consultant for brands including Telfar and Pierre Moss, quoted, "If your solidarity with the black communities that buy and support your brand only comes after backlash, that is not solidarity." And I could not agree more with that statement. A lot of brands were silent for at least 4 days, and they only ended up responding to what was going on after they were being pressured by their customers and their followings. So if you just compare social issues and world injustices and world problems that have been occurring, the fashion industry is very quick to speak up when it seems like it's a glamorous thing or when it seems like it's beneficial for them. But because so many have remained silent on this issue, on top of all of the back backlash that a lot of brands have received in the past. For instance, Comme des Garçons with the cornrows going down the runway. Vogue Italia back in 2011 actually had a feature for slave earrings, which they later changed to ethnic earrings, which I don't really think made a difference. But because there have been problems in the past in the fashion industry, it is very problematic for these brands to not speak up and show that they are standing in support or have taken action towards standing by what they're saying. Because a lot of brands can say that they stand with Black Lives Matter, but still they can also not have any Black executives in higher positions in the offices. Yes, we see a lot more Black models, but where are the Black executives in these conglomerates that own a lot of these luxury brands? And not only has it been from like white or European counterparts, we also saw Virgil Abloh criticizing looters for looting round 2, which is his friend Sean Wotherspoon's store in LA. And it's really, I know he went back and he apologized for it, but it's really all about how much value do materialistic things hold over a human life. And I think that's what it comes down to. I know that there are a lot of people who are suffering right now from their businesses being looted, but we have to understand that this is a bigger cause than shoes, it's a bigger cause than hoodies, it's a bigger cause than designer bags. It is all about human lives, and that is like the main movement behind what's going on right now. People are losing their lives. People are fearful for their lives just based on the color of their skin. And when you turn the narrative and you switch it to talking about the looters, or you switch it to talking about how the streetwear community is dying because people don't stand together, it takes away the main focus, which is the injustices being brought upon other people's lives based on the color of their skin. And I feel that that is the main thing that people are not understanding. I know that looting is wrong, and I feel like we all understand that, but it's taking away from the main spotlight, which is the injustices being brought upon us. There have been a lot of brands who have faced backlash, and they have released apology statements. I know that Dollskill released an apology statement, Reformation released an apology statement, and I've also witnessed some opposing views on brands speaking up. I was actually on Twitter and I saw a tweet that was asking if we thought it was a little bit unfair to expect other brands, international brands, to exercise additional sensitivity to US domestic issues. And I feel that people don't realize that racism is not just a US issue, it's a worldwide issue. And that's kind of the scary part about it, because I feel like it's so ingrained in the world that some people don't even recognize racism when it's very present and prevalent. Like I said before, Vogue Italia released in 2011 a slave earrings feature, and they were just hoop earrings. But as this movement has continued to grow and gain more exposure, we have seen other countries who are now protesting and who are walking and rallying and really using their voices to stand up for people as well, because like I said, this is not only a US domestic issue, this is a worldwide issue, and if we don't bring awareness worldwide, then we're not gonna have any change. So in closing, the question that we must ask ourselves are, what are the next steps? What are the next steps for these brands? What are the next steps that we will take in order to make sure that these brands actually follow through with what they're saying? I feel that it's going to take a lot more than a social media post in order for the fashion industry to move forward, because it's so stuck in its ways. It's a very traditional industry, but I feel like this is the perfect moment for us to bring change and to bring more awareness for people of color within the fashion industry. This can include hiring more Black executives, more board members for these fashion conglomerates, also providing safe spaces and equal wages for people of color within the fashion industry and all industries, because this is not just a fashion industry problem, and also donating to funds and organizations that support this movement and that fight against these injustices that are being brought upon people. I feel like these are only a few steps, but I think that it is the beginning and the start of something new. I do have a lot of faith for the fashion industry. In order for us to really see change, we have to hold these brands accountable. Some of my favorite designers right now, I really can't even, I don't even want to talk about it, but I can't even see myself supporting them if they can't support me and my community just based on my skin color. So as a collective, we all must do our part in making sure that we actually enforce change, and we won't keep our foot off their necks until we see change with these designers, brands, conglomerates, whatever it may be. I hope that this video brings more awareness to you guys to see exactly what performative activism is. I didn't really go too deep into brands that are partaking in performative activism. I did mention a few, but if you guys follow Diet Prada and if you have Twitter, then I'm sure that you've seen a lot. If not, then I recommend that you follow Diet Prada so you can be aware of what brands are supporting the cause at this moment and those who are remaining silent and using performative activism as a way to stay relevant and on top. So I definitely see a light at the end of the tunnel for all of us as a community, as a fashion community, and I hope that you guys are a part of this change as well. So like always, I will see you in my next video. Peace, love, and light.